all month long, I've been sharing stories about mental wellness. And today we're going to focus on moms. It's so important, so much needed to have like natural tools to help. And Justina's going to talk about, what happened to her with her first pregnancy and some postpartum, like depression, anxiety, that kind of thing, and what she did to get herself out of it. My name is Dale LaCure, and I do believe it's our birthright to live a joyful and abundant life, and health is like top on the list. Justina, share with us where you were at, after you had your baby, where you're at now, and what tools that you found that were super helpful to kind of get you out of the funk.
Yes, thank you, Dale, for inviting me. And I love what you said about our birthright to live an abundant and mentally well life. That's so on point with my thought process as well. So my name is Christina Gonzalez. I am a mom of two young boys. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old boy, like boys now, and it's crazy. I can't believe my baby's already 6 months, and it makes me want to just kind of cry inside. But I live in Southern Colorado, and I'm a Colorado native. And like Dale said in the intro, my pregnancies for both boys and postpartum journey have been completely different. And I think this is a really important message to let moms know, because a lot of moms see themselves in my story with my first postpartum journey, and it doesn't have to be that way. So if you are a new mom, or if you've been through, some postpartum journey, which we all have, it's natural to have a hormone shift and have sleep deprivation. You know what I'm talking about when I say you lose your identity, you have overwhelm, you're constantly worrying and stressing about your new baby, especially if it's your first, if you're doing the things right. And all of that monkey brain and chatter could literally take over. And if you're not careful about your self-care and putting yourself first, it will lead to anxiety, postpartum depression, possibly some burnout, and really some fatigue. And that's exactly where I was in my first postpartum journey. So you want me to just share a little bit about that, Dale?
Let me just say that, like, prior to your first pregnancy, you've been into health and wellness. You've been a business owner. You were fit. I mean, you were healthy. You were doing all the right things, but you still, ooh, baby. I'm working on those. So I think it's interesting to say, you went into it healthy. And then, just give us a little idea of how low you got, and then what you did to bring yourself back up.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thanks, Dale. So by trade, I am a health and fitness coach. I've been in the health and fitness industry for about 10 years now. I had my own fitness business. So I was preaching all things healthy. And I was not only preaching, I was also living it. I was eating clean, working out 5-6 days a week, meditating daily, all when I was pregnant with my first baby, practicing yoga, all of the things that we hear to be healthy. And so my pregnancy, I was fairly healthy. After I had him, and it was about 5-6 months postpartum, I could not get over the fact that I constantly was overwhelmed and my brain was nonstop going. And I thought this was all part of the normal process of being a mom, just being overwhelmed, kind of having the mummy brain, like forgetting why I went into one room when, I'd get distracted easily. My house was always a mess, and I felt like I could never do enough to get things done, which that just led me down a really kind of dark path to feelings of anxiety and then eventually full-blown panic attacks. So this is despite the fact that I was eating clean, working out, and doing the things already to keep me healthy. There was something missing in my health journey. And when I spoke with my doctors about it, we ran blood work, everything came back normal. They tested thyroid, hormones, all of the things that all came back normal. And the only solution they could offer me was an anti-anxiety medication, which for me, I didn't feel like that was my answer. I'm a firm believer in holistic healing and finding, functional foods, herbs, supplementation that possibly my body was lacking to heal. And luckily that's what I found. So it was a blessing. There was one panic attack where it left me breathless on my bathroom floor, and I broke down, and I was praying to God in tears, like, God, just help me find the answer. Like, what am I missing? And if I feel this way and I consider myself being healthy, compared to the majority of society, there must be thousands of other moms that are feeling similar to me. And that was really my big concern. Like, I knew that if I could find an answer for myself, I could be helping hundreds of thousands of other women. And so, and I was in some mom community groups and support groups, and there was an underlying message where we all felt this brain fog and fatigue, and like eventually we would figure it out. But it's like, why does motherhood shouldn't be that way? And to be honest, Dale, like I had a lot of anxiety and worry, and I see that in my first son now, where he's more of like high energy and like really, I don't want to call it anxious, but he has higher energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you lead this, Dale.
Yeah. So something I think we should talk about is the shame part. Like mom's like shoving that under the rug, and maybe they're thinking that it's normal to feel this overwhelm and anxiety and low mood and low energy. Maybe they think it's normal, but it's really not. And I think if they can not have the shame, and I know you felt that too, because every mom is like, I should be feeling joyful, I should be feeling, but motherhood is tough stuff. And if your body is out of whack, then it's even harder. Like sleepless nights are difficult. But so let's talk about the tools that you found that you just completely, so the second pregnancy, whole nother story. So talk about the tools that you found, and then talk about how the second pregnancy and postpartum went.
Yeah, I know. I love that, Dale. So there is a lot of mom shame, and it becomes normalized when we talk about the struggle, right? And there's a part of us as women and as mothers where we kind of like to get together to BS about the struggle, and oh my God, I didn't get this much sleep and the baby woke up, and it kind of becomes a common ground that you connect with other women is talking about the struggle. When in my mind, I was like, there has to be a positive side instead, and there has to be something that we're missing. So that led me on some research. Being in the health and fitness industry, I love doing the research, and I found out that our gut, our intestines, our gut microbiome is actually our second brain. And it housed a lot of the hormones that made us feel happy, relaxed, joyful, excited, loving, all of those things. And I was like, well, I kind of don't feel those things. So there must be something wrong with my gut. But on top of it, I did have, some GI issues and bloating and gas. And you always know, like, if you get that gut feeling, like, there somehow it's connected. So I knew all of those things, but I just could not figure out exactly how. So eventually my prayers were answered, and I found the first mental wellness company, and they were the only ones, and still are the only ones, doing holistic healing for mental health through the gut mind connection. And I was like, holy cow, this is it. Like, this is what I was praying for.
Right?
Yes. And so I knew that I had to get my hands on this stuff. I'm a firm believer in supplementation, and we can't get all of our nutrients from food anymore. That's just reality. Our soil's depleted. There's no way we could get all the nutrients that we need from just eating. Supplementation is necessary. And so I was excited to step into this new gut brain access. I love the research behind the ancient Chinese herbs, things that we've been using for centuries, really mixed with like new research on the gut microbiome and DNA specific probiotics that tell our brain, like, here's serotonin, here's dopamine, and here's how you feel happier, and just helps balance and align everything out. So I started introducing those supplements about 6 months postpartum from my first. And within a short 2 weeks, I felt significantly, like remarkably different, to the point, Dale, that I woke up and I had this epiphany, and it brought tears to my eyes. Like, I can't believe how amazing I feel and how shitty I felt before. Like, I didn't realize how bad I felt before. I kept telling myself it's not that bad. Like, this is normal. But when I actually felt better, I was like, oh my goodness. And so let's fast forward. I've been, aligning my gut brain access now for 2 years. I got pregnant with my second baby. He's now 6 months. And my entire pregnancy, was just like beautiful. It's like this Zen. You know, I was able to drop into a meditative hypnosis state of mind easily and simply. And my goal was to have a hypnobirth with both babies, you know, so no medication. And I was able to accomplish that with, I didn't have any medication for both, but I'll tell you, they were very different experiences. But what I was looking forward to the most was my journey postpartum with my second, because I knew what it felt like to be out of balance, to really just be all in my mind, like having that mental chatter, having that mom guilt, having that shame. And I was excited to see what it would be like now that my body had all of the nutrients and all of these missing pieces. And I'll say, like, I had to go through an emergency C-section with my second baby. He was breech, and I made it all the way through, you know, non-medicated till I was 10 centimeters ready to go. And I walked into the hospital and the doctor's like, you need a C-section now. So that was cool. But I was kind of worried that, you know, the healing from the surgery was going to be rough. And because I'm, you know, fitness is my jam and I love moving, I knew it was going to be a different state of mind. And I was kind of worried about possibly going into a depression or feelings of unworthiness because I physically couldn't do the things was used to doing. And also I was worried about healing my incision. So, but that wasn't the case. Like I had moments of the normal kind of hormonal shifts, but they passed super quick. You know, I wasn't stuck in feelings of depression or anxiety or worrying. And people say, like, you know more with your second baby, and you could have all these excuses. But I know that I felt like inside, I felt peace and I felt joy. And it wasn't worrying and like this constant state of heightened activity. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. The
And
overwhelm, which so the racing brain, like that's so common for
yeah,
moms these days. Just the
yes.
lifestyle that we lead, just fast, 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 fast.
Yeah, just doing, constantly having to do more, do another thing and check things off your to-do list, you know. And so what the really cool thing that I was not expecting, I loved that I didn't go through the postpartum anxiety or depression with my second. I felt like overall I had a better grip on life. I was able to get back to my normal eating habits of meal planning and working out, and a lot faster than I was with my first. But the other surprise I was not expecting was I was able to holistically pain manage my C-section by just using these natural supplements. Yeah, like they had sent me home with narcotics and they had me on narcotics in the hospital. But honestly, I had my natural pain relief sitting on my bedside in the hospital, and the doctors kept coming in and looking at that. And every time they would offer, you know, more narcotics, there was, I think, one or two times where I said yes, but I hated the way I felt. Like I felt disconnected from my present moment. I felt disconnected from my baby. And I'm like, this is the most precious time to connect with him. I felt really foggy and just like a sack of potatoes that couldn't move, you know? And so when I got home, I made the choice that I was not going to use the narcotics. I was going to holistically manage my pain through our natural supplementation. And it was incredible. I mean, there was moments of pain and there was moments where the incision burned. If anyone's had a C-section, you know, tell me in the comments, you kind of know that the burning feeling, but I didn't have to use the narcotics. And so I love that. And I used two of our really amazing products. One of them is a natural pain relief with really specific turmeric and ginger and like has these amazing anti-inflammatory ingredients. And the other one was our new aged hemp oil, which is similar to CBD. A lot of people know CBD, but we've kind of taken it up a notch to the next level. And it's actually all hemp, which has a lot more receptors for your body to actually be able to take in and use the way that it's supposed to. And yeah, so that plus, like, that was a whole surprise. And I'm like so grateful that I had all of those tools. Because you really don't know what is going to happen when you get into the labor and delivery, you know? And so that was a really cool experience.
Amazing. Wow. So, and the best part is that the joy, you feel the joy now. You don't feel the overwhelm. You don't feel the anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, that's we're on this mission to like get this message into people's hands. Like there are holistic solutions for mental wellness. And that's our goal. I know you are working with like high performance business people to get them on their top of their game as well. I mean, we can't bring our best selves if we're not mentally in a good place.
Absolutely. Yep. And it all starts, and I don't even want to say with the mind, because mental wellness is a whole body problem. And that's a misconception that mental wellness is a brain problem or a brain imbalance. In reality, it's not. It's a whole body. And that's why I really appreciate this holistic approach, because even though each person is different, medications only target a very specific part of your brain. And if we are all different people, then how is the medication supposed to help everybody across the board? When you use a holistic approach, it's going to look different for me as it does for you. But because we're basically made up of the same things, which is mostly bacteria, we're more bacteria than we are human. When we start to give our body the missing pieces, our body will naturally adjust and, work as it's supposed to. So you're your best self, which is different from my best self. And that's why, being a mother is different for everyone. It's you have to approach it in a holistic way. Yeah. So I love it. And I want people to know and understand, like, there's no shame around feeling the way that you do, no shame of feeling guilty. And this is the last thing I'll end with, Dale. And if you have any other questions, I could help answer. But I just was telling John like 2 or 3 nights ago how grateful I am, because I actually feel like I'm able to enjoy Theo, my second. Like I could look at him and I could enjoy him, and I don't feel this pressure or this constant worry in the back of my mind of needing to be on a schedule of feeding and sleeping and blah, 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 all this pressure that society puts on new moms. Where with Vaughn, my first, I was always so worried about the next thing that I had to do right that I didn't enjoy the moment. And so in reality, aligning my gut brain axis and targeting my mental wellness has allowed me to be present in this moment. And I think that's the secret to life. Like, no matter if you're a mom or a business owner or whoever, so.
Love it. That's a great way to end right there. Yes, that's it. So cool. That's what it's all about, is being present and feeling joy and feeling happiness and not feeling overwhelmed and worried. So many people just live their life so worried, thinking about things they can't control, thinking of the future instead of being in the present moment and just savoring all the love and light and joy in that moment. So that's beautiful. Justina, thank you so much. I have the chills. I love it. It's so important for me, like as a grandma, to see young moms like have support. It's just a crazy existence nowadays. Although with this COVID thing, it's really forced us to slow down and kind of look a little bit deeper into why we were running so fast here and there and everywhere. So it's kind of forcing us to be more present.
Right. And, the thing that this is going to give us, I always feel like things happen for a reason. COVID is happening for our higher good. It's causing us to slow down, to stop, and to really do some self-reflection. As a mom or as a parent, how are you responding to stress and all of the changes and all the uncertainty? And are you losing it on a daily basis because you have to homeschool, because you have to cook more meals than you're used to because we can't go out to eat, or you have to get creative inside your house, right? And are you short-tempered? And how are you showing those emotions? Because our kids watch, and that's how they learn how to be adults. And so in order to really, really, really make a difference in the world, we have to learn how to be the role model for our kids and show them, hey, I could handle hard things. Life's going to happen. Uncertainties will happen. And I'm not going to flip my crap and lose it, just because of something I can't control. I want to demonstrate what it's like to be resilient and know how to process emotions, right? And so that's really something John and I work on with our 3-year-old is like, are you feeling, this certain way? And here's how you could handle these emotions. So, and of course he's 3. And the lovely thing about kids is they have no analytical mind. They're all emotion based. So the earlier you could teach your kids how to be mentally well, mentally fit, then in my eyes, the world's going to be a better place, no matter what happens after COVID or not, you know?
Absolutely. And just knowing that you cannot separate the body and the mind, that you have to address where it all starts. And like you said, how did you say it's housed? All the mental neurotransmitters are housed. I love how you said that in the gut. It's true, because that's the root of it all. That's the motherboard right there is the gut, the microbiome. So you know that we have to address all of the things, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, all of it. So good. So good, Justina. So thank you so much for sharing this story. There are many, literally thousands of stories. If you want to come and look, see some more interviews in there.
Check out Dale's group. She's amazing. I love being inside there and I get inspiration, and it's a nice community. It's a wonderful community. So yes, Dale, I love what you do, and thank you for just showing up and spreading this message with me.
Oh, thank you, Justina. I love you. Mwah.
Love you.